Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law, and with me via Zoom, I'm delighted to be joined by Jordan Barker Porter. Jordan, first of all, good afternoon, and how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Jordan, obviously, tonight was supposed to be the night you were supposed to be in the ring on a Fight Zone show, but unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, the show got completely pulled. I believe it was on a Tuesday evening. It was released on social media. Um, Obviously, I follow most of the fighters that are supposed to feature on that card, and a lot of frustration has been vented towards the organizers of that show. There hasn't been a reason confirmed as to why the show has been pulled. But firstly, your thoughts on the whole sort of fiasco with the show getting pulled 3 days before it was actually meant to happen, and have you been given a reason as to why the show's been postponed?
No, I don't know. I don't know the full ins and outs. I just got a phone call from me manager and me coach, one after the other, to say that they'd got the phone call from the promoter to say that the full show's being pulled. So I don't know the full ins and outs. It was just kind of it's off and that's it. There's obviously more to it behind the scenes. I don't think there'd been in a number of tickets sold. Maybe that was the thought was going to happen, but it's on a Good Friday as well, bank holiday weekend, so the date wasn't really ideal. I'll admit I didn't do as many tickets as I would usually do. People are away with the kids, this, that, and the other. Got stuff on for the bank holiday, so I've still done a good amount, just not as much as usual. So I think all the fighters had the same kind of thoughts and struggles with that. But yeah, it's just frustrating. Like, sorry, that's just me watch Siri. It's just frustrating. Like, I've been training for 12 weeks non-stop, and like there's kind of it's a financial side where we get nothing back. Just you're at a complete loss for 12 weeks. So we've been promised a date. That's the only positive. So look, I can't change anything. There's no point sitting and moaning about it. It is frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. But I've been promised a date, so just waiting for 100% clarity. I've already got a date, been given a date, but it's not 100% yet. So I'm just waiting for the go ahead, which I should find out this weekend, I was told.
But nonetheless, I mean, 12 weeks of hard work in camp, trying to sell tickets, mentally prepare yourself. And you get the call on a Tuesday, 3 days before the show, that the show is actually, been postponed. Is this an ongoing problem that we're having a lot in boxing? Literally days before a fight is scheduled to be in the ring, where shows are getting pulled for no reason whatsoever. And how can boxing sort of improve going forward to make sure that there is sort of like a backup plan, or that shows are not getting pulled at the last minute? What do you think boxing needs to do to improve, Jordan?
God, there's so much. I mean, boxing at the minute, it's a bit of a a rough subject to even speak about, because there's so many things that could be done, and there's so many things that I mean, the same day that our show got pulled, there was, I seen loads of tweets flying back and forth. I mean, there was the statement that come out from Ellie Scottney about her being pulled off that show. The Newcastle show, the full show got pulled, and then the whole scandal with Amir Khan. And there's three big things in boxing straight away, just in one day. So I don't know. I just think you even look at the big shows from the big promoters, like shows aren't selling the way that they used to. There's lots of seats empty. People aren't putting their money in as much as maybe they would previously. I look back at a video when I was at Newcastle Arena a couple of years ago, prior to COVID, and there was not one seat empty in the arena. It was absolutely bouncing. And you just don't seem to get that now, even with the big cards. Like, look at the AJ one, it was announced as sold, but there was loads of seats you seen that were empty around the arena. So when the likes of like someone like that who's at the top of the game, it isn't selling arenas out, there's obviously an issue with boxing at the minute in general. So it's tough.
As you mentioned, obviously, you know, the news broke out about Ellie Scott and Chantel Cameron. You also mentioned Amir Khan fails drug test. You know, a lot of people that I speak to, you know, reckon boxing is going through a bit of a tough time. We've still got the whole sort of, you know, scandal with Conor Benn. You know, a lot of people are still angered that they've not seen enough proof to sort of prove his innocence. Would you say that right now is probably the worst time it has been for boxing in a very, very long time? Not only with failed drug tests, but also, you know, failures of shows going ahead and getting pulled at the last minute.
Yeah, I think it's. If I'm honest, I'm gonna. It's a bold statement, but I think boxing's probably in the worst state it's ever been in right now. And then you've got the whole crack with all the other shows that go on, Misfits and things like that, and they're absolutely packed out. People are getting paid absolute fortunes, and there's people like me that like you don't even get a fight wage. You're selling tickets to cover your opponent fees and things like that. So it is a bit of a kick in the teeth, especially when a show gets pulled with 72 hours notice. That's the reality of it. It's the ups and downs. But yeah, I don't think it's in a great place at the minute. It's just my opinion.
No, fair enough for your opinion, and that's an opinion that I highly respect. I mean, I know a lot of fighters at the early stages in their career, like yourself, what they have to go through in terms of selling tickets and trying to get fights on a regular basis. I know how difficult it is. I have to ask you this question, obviously, with the position that you're in. At any point within the sort of last 3 to 6 months, have you ever sort of maybe considered moving away from the sport of boxing, or is it just a case of you that, you know, patience is a virtue and that your time will come and eventually you will start to feature on more shows as time goes on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I have been on a couple of big shows, and like the biggest one, unfortunately, was for me was the back end of last year when I lost. But it's still the pressure. Like take away the pressure of not having to sell tickets, not having to pay for your opponents, this, that, and the other, running around doing everything. Like you might get different results, but like there just is a lot of pressure on a lot of us fighters. Like even some of the best fighters have had to do it that have come up, and yeah, patience is a thing. But on the back of that loss, like I did question. I thought, hang on, like I'm not even getting like what am I getting out of this at the minute? It's not as though I'm getting paid for it. Like one punch and I could lose my life. It's as brutal as that, the sport. But it was more so kind of the beasting that I'd gone through for SAS as well. Just timing was a bit off. So that's why these last 12 weeks I've done things completely different. I've brought a mind coach on board as well, just to get myself back in a good space. And like I have had that total patience vibe and just like chill vibe, not letting the small things get you I would usually. And then obviously the show gets pulled. So it's one of them there. So yeah, I will admit there's been times I've thought like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm sacrificing so much, taking myself away from my family, missing out on events left, right, and centre. And sometimes you think for what? But I know what my end goal is, so I've just got to dig in. I've just got to dig deep, and hopefully I will get that one opportunity that'll break us through.
Well, let's just try and obviously focus on the positive side of things. You have been promised a new date, and of
Yeah.
course, moving forward, I'm pretty sure there's you know, there's aspirations and there's targets for 2023. So what can we expect to see from you in 2023? What is the sort of the main goal that you're looking to achieve in this year, Jordan?
Yeah, look, I mean, for tonight, if I was to fight, it was just about getting back to winning weight, showing what we've been working on in the gym, and showing what I should have showed in December. Just I couldn't kind of let my shots off. So that was the main focus for me tonight. And then, to be honest, I'm not getting any younger. I don't want to mess about. There is some girls that I want to fight, and I want to be in 50-50 fights. So there's a couple of things in the pipeline. So yeah, look, we got some negative news on Tuesday, but then on the back of that, I got a little bit of positive news. So there could be something big brewing.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on your social media for when that news does break. The division that you're campaigning at, probably not the easiest of divisions, but considered it is, well, currently ruled by Katie Taylor, who is also,
Yeah, when you look who's at the top.
yes, who's also looking to conquer super lightweight. But yeah, look, you're in the sport for a reason. I'm pretty sure you'd love to add a world title to your career, for when eventually you do call it a day. But No, how confident are you that you can push yourself to the top? And I don't know about undisputed, but get a world title. You know, how confident are you in your ability that you can become world champion before your career does sort of finish?
I am confident. That's why I'm in it. That's why I do it. That's why I keep pushing through. That's why I've got through the dark times, because I know that, yeah, I might not be where I want to be right now, but I know that I can do it. And I was never meant to be a fighter. Boxing found me. I've only done it for 5 years, amateur and pro, and like, look what I've done. So sometimes you just got to keep your head held high. And I know I've got the ability to do it. It's just putting everything together. So that performance then is still fire when it comes to fight night. So yeah, I'm very confident I can bring a title back to Newcastle at some point.
Well, I mean, the city of Newcastle is buzzing. I mean, the football team is just on, it's probably the best it's been in a very, very long time. And obviously, there's a lot of good fighters coming out of the city of Newcastle. So I'm pretty sure they'd love a world champion as well. Before I let you go, I'm gonna have to get a prediction about the Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron fight. What goes down when the two come head to head in a few weeks' time? What do you see happening?
Tough, because Katie's got the speed over Cameron, but Cameron's strong, so she could land a shot that might buzz her slightly. But if I have to pick a side, I probably would have to go with Katie. I just think her speed will be a problem, and the fast little burst that she does. So I'll have to stick with Katie.
Okay, Jordan, where can the viewers find you on social media and what can we expect from you in the rest of 2023?
So Instagram, just my name, Jordan Barker Porter. Same on most of me social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok. TikTok's where all the Raj stuff is. And for me, it's just about getting back to winning ways. And hopefully this year is where we're going to bring a title back.
Fingers crossed. And I've got to say, I'm a massive fan of your Instagram account, especially with the content that you put up. It's really entertaining. So, yeah, guys, if you can, make sure you give Jordan a follow. Jordan, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on and speaking to us. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. And we look forward to catching up with you during your next fight week.
Yes, thank you very much. Cheers.
Jordan Barker Porter, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
No worries. Thank you.